All right, welcome to the Krueg Show, everybody. It is a phenomenal night, September 26th at 8:36 on the West Coast, 11:36 on the East Coast. Raj from RSF 49ers in the house. We're going to talk a little 49er football. Niners are 3-0 and looking strong going into the Arizona game coming up in week 4 on Sunday. Hope everybody has a great night or is having a great night. Welcome to the Krueg Show. We are, of course, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue you're going to find. It's all great, but get the brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary and tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. We're also brought to you by Marin Auto Glass, marinautoglass.com, 415-883-3030 for all of your windshield replacement needs. And New York Style Sausage Company. The only kind of Italian sausage that I will eat is New York Style Italian sausage. The great Pasquale Battanti is one of our very, very favorites. And, of course, Mike and Laura and all the good people at New York Style Italian Sausage. And why don't we start off with a little Pasquale?
We grew up with a Sunday dinner. That means no matter.
We grew up with the Sunday dinner. Raphael 5629 says, like and subscribe, everyone. That's right. If you hit like, it helps the algorithm and more people find the show. And then if you hit subscribe and hit that notification bell every time we go live, you'll get a notification that we're going live. And you can not miss a single minute of the Krueg Show. And Raj, good to see you, man. How are you? How's your night going? How's your what is this, Tuesday night? How's your Tuesday night going?
Going well, Larry. I'm happy to be 3-0. Sitting here, it's another victory celebratory day. I'm doing well. Glad to be here. Hope you're doing good, having a good night. But just another good undefeated night. That's all it is over here.
Yeah, no, feeling good. And one of the things that I saw there was just minutes before we went live here is the 49ers point differential on the NFC West, or yardage differential, I should say. 49ers are plus 329 yards. Seattle's plus 75. Arizona's plus 65. The Rams are minus 59. And if you're wondering how the Niners compared to the rest of the league, they're second behind Philly. Philly has got a 412-yard differential advantage, number 1 in football. And the Niners are at 329. The Browns are third at 326. Everyone else has less than a plus 200-yard differential. So with that being said, is this NFC West, I mean, is there any team at all that you think has even any chance at all of preventing the Niners from winning the division?
I mean, I said it earlier in the offseason, I still think Seattle's going to be a tough matchup. They got a good coach out there, Pete Carroll. He knows how to play the Niners. Division games are tough. You know, I feel like the Niners pretty much own the Rams in the regular season. And traditionally, over the last couple of years, the Seahawks had the Niners number, but it looks like those fortunes turned over last year when the 49ers triple swept. You know, they beat them all 3 games. But I still think Seattle will give us a hard fight. But honestly, based on those stats and just the way that the 49ers are playing, they have a quarterback that they trust now. I really feel like the 49ers are the most complete, well-balanced team in the NFC. The point differential also is staggering in the 49ers compared to the rest of this division. Now, you can't take anybody lightly. I know we got the Cardinals this weekend, fresh off a win over the Dallas Cowboys. But honestly, the only team that stands in the 49ers' way is themselves. They have to play smart football. They can't turn the ball over, and they have to continue to score 30 points a game. I don't think if they can keep scoring 30 points a game, I really don't think anybody's going to beat them, because this defense is only going to get better with Steve Wilks figuring out, who he has on his roster. And once he kind of can implement his style a little bit more, his defense is going to get better. They're only allowing 14 points a game. So I don't think anybody really stands a chance. I think Seattle will be competitive, but I think the Niners are going to run away with this division again.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I mean, I like what I see with the Rams. The Cardinals have some explosive players for sure. Seattle, I think, is got a decent talent base, but there's nobody that's in the Niners class in the division. And I don't even think it's really close. I really don't. I think I think the Niners are going to wind up winning this division by 3 games, if not more, by when it's all said and done. I got to ask you this question, and I'm sure the Niners probably don't want me talking about this, but I got to show this anyway. This is you went to the game the other night. This is Giants Niners crowd and Niner fans fighting Niner fans. I'm going to play this for you right now. Jesus. People throwing blows, guy kicking somebody, guy who pulled a girl by her hair. Raj, what do you make of this? I mean, first of all, you're there, you're seeing it. We just talked right before we went live about, do you go to the games or do you just do you watch it on TV? And you said, hey, no, I go to the games. What do you make of the fighting in the crowd, and is there anything that can be done to minimize this fighting in the crowd? It seems like, and I brought this up before, but this bothers me. I mean, there's a lot of violence, in the crowd. And I remember as a little kid going to baseball games and seeing people brawl, and just that mayhem of witnessing that as a child was really scary. And I'm just kind of wondering, does anybody give a damn anymore? I mean, it's like, it's unbelievable. I mean, I just, it's like, you're not on the team. It's not a interactive deal. It's not. You're at a football game. It's not supposed to be interactive in any way, shape, or form. People who fight at the game, I mean, the players, they're laughing at you. They don't respect that. And if you watch that, you're talking about some guy who's 270 pounds or 80 pounds grabbing a woman by the hair and throwing her down a flight of stairs. And while he's holding his beer, another guy comes up and starts kicking the person. I mean, the Niners don't want this. They're trying like crazy to stamp it out so it's not part of the game day experience. But when you see that kind of stuff, it almost makes you think that the couch experience is better than the game day experience in the stadium. Is there a solution, Raj? I mean, is there anything that we can? I mean, it's not really. You and I get together every week and we talk football. This is not football. This is a discussion about. This is almost like a sociology class. We're talking about, people and their habits and their impulses and the combination of binge drinking and the crowd and the colors and I don't know. I don't know what to say about it at this point. I just hate seeing it, and I don't feel for any of the people involved at all. I don't feel sorry for the people getting their ass kicked. I don't feel sorry for the people doing the kicking or beating up. I feel sorry for the 5, 6, 7-year-old who's there with mom or dad who just wants to watch a football game, and they are going to be scarred by that. I mean, seriously, scarred by seeing people in a mayhem situation, watching somebody get kicked in the head or dragged downstairs. It's awful. I mean, it's some awful stuff. And when it's not like it's like, oh, well, that just happened this Sunday. That's not normal. No, that's normal. That's what happens every week. So, I mean, have you ever been, I'm not saying that you yourself are in these brawls. I know you well enough to know that you're not. But have you ever had that in your section? And what does that do to your experience at the stadium? And is there a solution that's going to eradicate this kind of behavior so it's not such a big part of the game day experience inside the stadium?
Yeah, a couple of things. So first and foremost, that's just disgusting. It's terrible. Like it makes our fan base look like an embarrassment. Like, because that's not real Niner fans, but there are people that go to these games. They're drunk. their emotions get the best of them. They get mad, and their emotions spill over, and it's just stupid. And you see that, and it's just unfortunate. And the sad thing is, Larry, that's not even the only clip from that game. There was multiple fights that game, and I've seen it through the years going to the games. And this is a team that's got Super Bowl aspirations, and the fans are still fighting each other. Like, that to me is not a true fan. You go to the game to watch the game, but a lot of times now people go there and it's a social experiment. They don't even care about the games. It's weird, man. And I feel a lot of it, is the alcohol, but you can't tell people not to drink. But a lot of people are drinking before they even get to the game, tailgating.
They're binge drinking in the parking lot.
Yeah, they're already blitzed out of their mind, and it's who knows what they're doing at home, drugs, whatever the case is. You're right. You got to feel bad for the kids watching, because they see this and it's like, oh my God. I sometimes I take my daughter to the game and I'm like, oh my God, I hope there's no fight. I have been in a section close to a section where there's a fight, and it's just like, it ruins the game because you're trying to watch, people are yelling, and it's just like takes away from the entertainment. And there was a time I went to a Vegas game last year, the regular season Vegas game, and there was guys coming up to our section and they were being like really weird and stuff. And my friend almost got in a fight because they were trying to take our seat. And to me, a big part of it is security. Is the security is kind of lax and daisical sometimes. They just don't feel like, I feel like they don't care because they're there. And once you're in your seats, they kind of just coast back. A lot of it is the security, because if the security was a little bit more strict up front, I feel like people don't think they'd get away with stuff, because once they check your seats and it's like, oh, okay, but once you're there, there's like kind of free reign. It's unfortunate, but it is terrible, Larry. I hope that can stop. But I just don't know how they're going to get it to stop, because I feel like the fans have so much control in that stadium. And it's just an unfortunate turn of events over the last couple of years. And, I don't remember seeing that when I was younger going to games. But, man, I feel like another thing about security is they probably aren't getting paid enough to deal with that kind of stuff. So they're like, whatever, I'm here to just watch over stuff. And they're not getting paid enough. They're probably not going to care enough, which I hate to say, but that's probably the case. And it's just a combination of the people that are drunk, people that are probably not there to care about the game that much. They get,
they get plowed in the pregame. I parked in the media lot, and I did a radio hit with 95.7 The Game at the Hilton. And the Hilton's like on the diagonal opposite corner of the parking lot. So I had to park and walk over there. And as I'm walking over there, there's people who recognize me from the show, and, I'm getting multiple. I mean, I literally had to throw down multiple shots of Patron to get through the parking lot, because people are just partying. And it's like, you know what? That's great. And I'm all for that. Believe me, I'm all for having a great old time. It's a once a week deal, and this is what people love. But, man, I mean, pump the brakes on the violence. I mean, it's like, come on, man. You are not Fred Warner. The sport is violent, but the fans should not be violent. It seems like it's worse in football than basketball or baseball. You don't see massive brawls at Warrior games. You don't see, you do see them at baseball games from time to time, but not nearly on the level. And you don't see it at college football games. I've gone to Stanford. I've gone to Cal. I've gone to San Jose State. I just don't see that, full. And you're talking about college kids who are also drinking. So it's like, I don't get it. It's and if you're the 49ers, they want no part of this. They don't want this to happen. They don't want mayhem in their stadiums. And it's like, you can't have a 1-to-1 ratio of security to fans, right?
No.
So it's just terrible. But I saw one of these, and I was in the stands last year for the Miami game in the first half, and a fight broke out. And this guy starts pummeling this other guy. And the guy who was getting beaten up, his kid was sitting right next to him. And his kid was screaming like, his dad was being beaten up, on the street. And, it's like his dad probably had something to do with the fight, to be honest. But, so what? It's like, not so what, but it's like, obviously you got to take responsibility for yourself. And whether you have a kid there or not, you still got to take responsibility. But, I'm looking at that kid, and he was only like a couple rows, behind me, and he was terrified as his dad is in this middle of this mayhem situation. People are jumping over rows and throwing things, and it's just like, come on, people, we gotta be collectively better than that, man. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm the old man, get off my lawn, but something's got to be done because this is becoming less of a stadium experience and more of an NFL problem. This is not like, oh, this is just what happens when you go to stadiums. No, go to Oracle Park and watch baseball. They're not brawling. Go to Stanford games or college football games. They're not brawling. Go to Warrior games. They're not brawling. This is an NFL problem.
Yeah,
This really only happens at the NFL.
It's happening in other stadiums because it's not the only place. I've seen videos.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not a Niner problem either. It's nothing special to Niner fans. It's a pro football problem though.
But it is embarrassing to see it in the Niner games now because that's what people want to bring up. They're like, I saw these videos all week, and I'm like, oh come on, dude, it's just embarrassing. And you're right. You know, they have raised the prices for the drinks, Larry. They did, but it's still not stopping people. People are going to buy the drinks no matter what. $20 for a beer at these games, and they're still, you know, I think a lot of it is like we said before the game, they're just binge drinking,
blitzed. Yeah, no, I was going through the metal detector. I'm walking in to the stadium. This is 5:30 or 5 o'clock, so it's like a half hour before the game. A woman is doubled over vomiting.
Oh God.
It's like, you got to be kidding me. The game hasn't even started. And you're going to spend, what are tickets? What's the average ticket?
Like at least $200 for a decent.
You're going to pay $200. You're going to be so blitzed you can't even see the field.
Wasting their money.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. Patrick Sheehan said someone died at the Patriots-Dolphins game because of this, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that person may have had some underlying medical issues, but still, come on, man. Come on. Seriously, you're not tough if you're fighting at games. And if you're scarring children and killing seniors, something has to be done. And you know what? I hate these rules that, where you can't drink at all at the game because some jackass can't handle his booze. It's like, you know what? Don't take away my freedoms because some person can't handle it. And that's kind of where we're at right now. At least that's where it's headed. I mean, they're not going to ban beer sales. They make a huge amount of money on these beer sales, but, they're going to try to limit it. They're going to try to cut it off at halftime or do whatever. And it's just, come on. There's got to be some other way. There was an article today in Niners Nation about, and I talked about it earlier today with Dave Lombardi on the live stream about, and it was basically Mark DeLucci wrote a piece that, Patrick Surtain's father, the father of the former NFL player, whose son is a phenomenal corner with Denver, said, "Oh, toiling in the soil, shaking my head to you deserve better," and obviously that's his kid. And a lot of people are speculating that maybe the Broncos, like they did last year, where they traded Bradley Chubb in the middle of the season for a first-round draft choice, might do the same thing this year with a guy like Surtain. Niners have $40 million plus in cap space, and they got a full bevy of picks, and they're inside their Super Bowl window, and they may need a corner. If I said to you, you can add one player to the 49ers to help them win the Super Bowl this year, is it Devontae Adams, who's also a lot of people speculating that he wants out? Is it Brian Burns, the edge rusher? Is it Pat Surtain? Or is it maybe an offensive lineman? What's the, where's the need as you're concerned? Or who's the one player, Raj, if I said you can add one player to this team because they're going to roll over most of that 40 plus million for next year, try to sign IU, can keep the whole thing together. That makes sense. But they probably do have enough draft capital and cap room to make a significant addition at the trade deadline. We got this one here from Pure Dubs who says, JT, is that Jonathan Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
I'd trade for Jonathan Taylor, just to block him from some of these other teams. Got another one. Josh says, Larry, how about Danielle Hunter? That's a good one too. Who do you think? You can have one guy to push and I'd love to see from the fans in the chat. Who's your one guy? Who's your one guy that pushes, the Niners over the top this year in their pursuit of the Super Bowl? Who would be your guy, Raj?
I'll tell you what, I would love to have Brian Burns, but I think with the way the cap is, and I know they want to save a lot of it for Brandon Ayuk specifically, maybe Hufanga. I would go crazy if they got Pat Surtain because he's young. He's only a third-year cornerback. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the game. And I feel like if the 49ers add an elite cornerback to this roster with what they have right now, it's over. It's Super Bowl. There's not even a question. And the Broncos might be doing a fire sale in a few weeks. They just got 70 points dropped on them, Larry.
I know.
Sure
it's wild.
Be a fire sale coming from the Broncos.
I would say if I could add Surtain and DJ Jones, that's what I would do.
Oh yeah, DJ Jones, bring him back to the Bay. I'd love it. But if I can get one player, Pat Surtain is probably that guy. He is unbelievably still on his rookie deal. I mean, you got 2 years until you really have to pay him, man. I mean, he's an elite cornerback. And like his dad said, he's wasting his time with the Denver Broncos. That team needs a lot of help. First round pick definitely is something they would love to have, and a lot of the picks the Niners have, just throw them some picks. I'd take Pat Surtain any day of the week. I don't know if Carolina's going to go away and give Brian Burns, although they might have a fire sale coming up in a few weeks. But I feel like Carolina's going to try to hold on to Burns if they absolutely can. But last year they got rid of CMC, and that was our treasure from them. So, oh man, but Pat Surtain, Larry, if we got him, I've been dying for a lockdown corner for years. They got it with Mooney a couple years ago. Now, if you have Mooney, Ward, and Pat Surtain, oh my God, that's silly.
I know. That one dominant corner would be nice. Itchy95 says Tristan Wirfs. That's interesting. August Pierre says, does it have to be realistic? Hell no. It's a live stream. You can be anything you want. You could add Deion Sanders if you want in his prime. We got this one. Frank Tom Ocean says, shout out to Raj. We should pursue Kyle Pitts to replace George Kittle. What do you think of that one? Pitts has not fulfilled the potential that people thought he had coming out of college.
I just don't think Atlanta knows how to use him. They've never really had a top tier quarterback, but yeah, he definitely has not lived up to the top 5 draft pick he was. But if Kittle's going to leave in a year or two, hey, I'd take Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Shanahan would figure out how to use that man. He's a hell of a talent, but hey, I don't mind getting Kyle Pitts this team. But you're right, he's been kind of lackluster in the NFL. But I just feel like he doesn't mesh on that Atlanta team. I don't know, it just doesn't seem right on that team.
If I said to you, who is the tone-setting 49er? Who are you going to go with?
Deebo
tone-setting.
Is Deebo Samuel, no matter what.
Deebo.
He's okay. Been the setter. He has been that guy. He's always setting the tone. Yeah, it's Deebo, man.
Deebo, Trent on offense, Kittle, maybe. I asked this question to Isaiah Oliver. I asked him who's the tone-setting player, but I think we were more talking defense.
Sure.
More talking.
A couple
defense.
Questions about your teammates. Every team has a couple tone setters.
Yeah.
Guys who are just, if you ain't ready, they'll get you ready.
Right.
Who are those guys in here? Who sets the tone emotionally?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the unique thing about this team is there's a lot of them.
Are there?
It's not usually just one or two guys, but defensively, Fred, Dre for sure.
Yeah.
Huff, Nick, Eric. I feel like those are probably the 4 main guys on our defense that, regardless of how you feel or coming into a practice, you might feel a little tired, a little slow, but those 4 guys, they're going to be rolling every day, no matter what. And so you can just watch them. Just at the beginning of practice, just watch them warming up, watch them in the first couple of drills. You'll know that they're ready, and so that kind of gets you ready. And that's kind of the way this team moves in general. It's a player-led team. And if you're not bringing it, they're going to let you know about it and make sure that you're hitting the standard.
There you go. Did you notice that he said 4, but he named 5?
Yeah. I like that.
He's got Greenlaw, Warner,
yeah,
Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa,
and Huff. Yeah, he did
but
throw.
He said 4. Those 4. He named 5. That's all right.
Warner, on defense, Fred Warner. Yeah, he's like always just got that juice in him. He just every time you go to training camp, Fred comes out, he's hyping everybody else. Yeah, Drake Greenlaw, you got him in here. Hufanga too. He's always just the first one there. You can see the mentality. I think Fred on defense, but Deebo for this offense, to me, he's the guy that sets the tone.
Yeah, Deebo he's also the physical tone setter as far as delivering punishment from the offense to the defense. He's a tone setter. And, he's the first guy out of the locker room, and he's got that bounce. And, you saw him in the Pittsburgh game kind of going up and down the sideline and, patting guys on the shoulder pads and kind of doing a checking inventory on who's, on the team and, kind of seeing who's ready to go and that kind of thing. I think Debo's a great tone setter for sure. Is this a trap game? And we titled this live stream, "Is Sunday a trap game for the Niners?" What do you think? Is Sunday a trap game, Raj?
That's a good question, but I don't think so. I think because the 49ers, there's just a different focus this year. It's different than it has been in the past. And I think in most years, this might have been a trap game. But I think because the 49ers got that Thursday game, they had the 3-day weekend, and they saw the Cardinals beat Dallas, I think they're not going to sleep on the Arizona Cardinals. I think they realize, oh, wow, we got to take them for real, take them serious, which I know they would have been in the first place. But I don't think they're going to think ahead to Dallas because Arizona just came off a victory over the Cowboys. And you know what? It's a division game. No matter the record, division games are always tough. I think the Niners are really in that mindset of we got to go 1 week at a time. We got to focus. And even Fred Warner, he had his podcast. He talked about it today. And he goes, look, man, this is business. The Cardinals just came off a victory from the Cowboys. Nobody expected it. We can't have them coming off a victory against the Niners. So I feel like this is a team that's super focused. I don't think they're going to be looking ahead. I don't think it is a trap game. I think most people in most years, maybe this in the past, they would have looked over past the Cardinals. Oh, we're going to blow them out. But I think the 49ers are set on making sure they take care of this Arizona team and improve to 4-0. And also, this team, they know the importance of starting off strong because in the past couple of years, they haven't been able to get that number 1 seed, and it's cost them in the playoffs. The traveling catches up to them. I think this year they know how much that number 1 seed means to them, and I don't think they're going to take the Arizona Cardinals lightly this week.
What is the key to winning on Sunday in your mind? How much of Arizona Dallas did you watch?
Watched it. Yeah, I watched the whole game. I mean, I was watching all the games this weekend. It was fun. Arizona ran the ball very good. They had 222 yards against the Dallas defense, and everybody was saying Dallas defense was the best in the world. The Niners have to stop that rushing attack. Dobbs played good. He was running the ball. James Conner had 98 yards rushing, almost 100 yards. So you got to stop the rushing attack. And they have some explosive play abilities. Hollywood Brown, he's a nice deep threat kind of receiver. And then what's the other guy? They have that other receiver.
They got Michael Wilson. They got Rondale Moore.
Rondale Moore, that's the guy. He's kind of a nice explosive type guy. So they got to hold those guys, not allow them to have that explosive play. But if they can shut down the run and get to Dobbs because he's a young quarterback, if they can pressure him, it's game over. And that's the key. That defensive line has to continue to dominate. And they've been playing really well. They got a lot of pressures up front. Hargrave, Kinlaw has been playing good. I think Nick Bosa is going to kind of keep that motor revving up. 1 sack last week. I think it's going to continue. If they can get to Dobbs and make him uncomfortable, it's going to be a long day for Arizona. And again, they got to continue to get turnovers. They've been winning that turnover battle these last 3 weeks, and that's been huge for the 49ers. So those are my keys to beating Arizona.
It's funny. There's a bunch of them. I mean, I think you hit on a bunch of them. Connor, you can't let Connor run for 7 yards a carry like Dallas did.
Yeah.
I mean, that just can't happen. If that happens, that will be a bad situation for the 49ers. That's a way that you could lose. They could lose if James Conner goes for 7 yards a carry. But I kind of look at it as the explosives. You got to limit Arizona's explosives. Just looking at the game, James Conner had a 26-yard run. Joshua Dobbs got loose. He had a 44-yard run. Rondale Moore had a 45-yard run. And then you look at their receiving core. Marquise Hollywood Brown had a 23-yard catch. Michael Wilson had almost a 70-yard catch, 69 yards for the rookie out of Stanford. To me, the limiting their explosives is the key to the game. The 49ers defense, by the way, has allowed the lowest explosive play rate in the NFL, 5.2%. And that's a major improvement from last year. Last year, they gave up 13.8% explosive play rate. This year, 5.2%. Niner opponents on passes, on deep passes, which are defined as 20-plus air yards, 0 for 8 with 2 picks, and 3.6 yards per catch, or yards after the catch per catch. So they're not, which is 31st in the NFL. So they're limiting the explosives for other teams. And to me, that's right in line with what they're going to have to do in this game. If the Cardinals get because the Cardinals don't have a precision offense, they're not going to move the ball down the field with precision. But what they're going to do is Rondale Moore is going to make somebody miss and go 70 yards. Yeah. Or, Dobbs is going to break contain and run 50 yards. Those kinds of plays, to me, that's the game right there. If they can limit the explosives, New York Giants in the first half gave away all kinds of explosives to Arizona in week 2. Yeah. Second half, none, not one. And then the Giants came all the way back and won.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that first, that Giants versus Arizona. I was watching that first half going, where the heck, what's going on? The Arizona was big play after big play, up 28-3. I was like, what is this team? So the Cardinals have the ability to score big plays. They have that big play ability, and you're absolutely right. The 49ers can lay the hammer down and not allow them to, take those big plays. They should have this game in the palm of their hands. But, they've been surprisingly scrappy. They play with heart. And Joshua Dobbs is better than I give him credit for. I saw Juwan Jennings the other day, I saw one of the press conferences or the locker room conferences, and they were former teammates at Tennessee, and he goes, hey, man, I knew this guy had it in him. He's a tough guy. He's scrappy. He can run, too, and I feel like that's going to be something the 49ers are going to be tested on because they have been tested against these mobile quarterbacks, and I think it's a good test for the 49ers. Can they continue to contain and slow down these mobile-type quarterbacks? It's a good test for Steve Wilks, who I think Steve Wilks has done a good job of making adjustments in these 3 games so far, and I like to see him continue to do that in this game against Arizona.
I'm going to share the screen here for the most ridiculous take of the week. And you've seen this one, but let's play it anyway. Here's Mike Florio on Thursday Night Football recap. Niners get the nice win. He's got Peter King. He's got the nation watching. And here's what he says.
I think when you think of a franchise quarterback, you think of Joe Montana, Dan Marino, right? Brock Purdy is just kind of a weird name. It doesn't sound like a franchise quarterback name. Purdy's a little too close to Turdy. I just think people have a hard time looking at that name and saying that's a franchise quarterback. I know when I first saw that name.
That easily is the most ridiculous point you've ever made. That's easily the most ridiculous point you've ever made.
Yes.
That's absurd. That's one of the silliest things I've ever heard.
I guarantee you I'm not the only person that's like, well, that's not a quarterback name when he first landed on the radar screen last year.
Raj. How about Purdy instead of rhymes with turdy? Turdy. How about 30, as in they score 30 points a game with Brock Purdy? What do you think Florio pulls? Florio's got to pull like $500K, maybe $1 million.
The fact
$500,000 for Purdy Turdy?
That's crazy.
Really? That's bad, man.
He's getting paid so much money, and he just made a 5-year-old joke on national media. Like this, that's crazy.
With seriousness, no. He meant it.
I know. That is absolutely ridiculous. That was the worst take of all. And it's funny because Peter King, guy he had on his show there, the next writes the article, and he says, and the part of the article says he believes that those preying on Brock Purdy's downfall will be waiting for a while. Like he's basically saying Brock Purdy's the guy. Florio, he's a big Niner hater. Like I can't stand that guy. He takes every shot to take the Niners down. He lives to make the Niners, a joke in his mind. The fact that he used a 5-year-old's joke, like I was a 5-year-old when I used to joke about turds and dumps and stuff like
right.
Come on, Florio, do better than that. You're getting paid all that money and you're making turd jokes. It's ridiculous to me.
It is so ridiculous. Okay, that being said, where does Brock Purdy rank in the the NFL quarterback list? I made my list this week. I had him 8th.
Honestly,
I mean, that to me, he's firmly a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
absolutely, he's absolutely a top 10 quarterback, and I think that's fair. He's only going to get better. He's young. Like there's only a handful of quarterbacks that are playing better than him. You obviously got the Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tua, you know, Justin Herbert. You got Joe Burrow, who's been playing kind of lackluster, but he's still Joe Burrow. He's still the guy. You give him his credit. You know, other than that, there's not very many more playing better than him. I may have missed a few, but those are the ones that come right to my mind that are playing amazing football over Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is the only quarterback, Larry, that hasn't thrown an interception or fumbled the ball. He has not turned the ball over. The only quarterback in the NFL without a turnover. It's pretty impressive.
Is he going to have a dramatic fall from grace, or is he this good? I mean, he's never lost. You've just mentioned it. The numbers are staggeringly good. You know, it's, you know, there's just no way around it. Either he's going to fall apart out of nowhere, or he might be pretty damn good, and we just have not really given him credit. I mean, this is what he's done. His passing in the 11 games where he's 11-0, he's completing 67% of his passes for 2,021 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 102.3. We just watched the New York Giants bring a dizzying array of blitzes. It was a crazy amount of blitzes, and yet he stood up to it, and looked really good in the face of it. I mean, it was amazing to watch him get blitzed by Martindale as much as he did, and not just that he got blitzed, Raj. It was the exotics. It wasn't the same blitz 2 times in a row. It was different blitzes in a rapid fire deal, and yet the ball came out on time, and he threw with anticipation, and one of those, Baldinger, broke down, you know, where basically he threw the ball to the pylon for Ronnie Bell on that first half touchdown. Bell had not even put his right foot in the ground to make his break on the out, and the ball was already out of Purdy's hand. He literally threw it to the spot where Bell was supposed to be, and then Bell got to that spot, made the catch, and got 2 feet down. I mean, for 7th round second-year player to 7th round rookie, that was one of the great plays I think I've ever seen.
It was amazing, Larry. This guy has been absolutely tremendous, and it's only been a handful of games. So you know he's going to get better. But to say that he's going to fall from grace, I don't think he's going to fall from grace. But he's going to have some days where he makes some mistakes. There's going to be some days where he's not, you know, up to par. He's going to throw some interceptions. He's going to have some turnovers eventually. But I think it doesn't matter, because in the grand scheme of things, he's going to continue to get better. And I think we've seen him learn how to build from those mistakes. Whereas quarterbacks in the past on this team, they make a mistake and they fall apart. But Brock Purdy is always looking to improve, always looking at the defense. And I think the game will slow down for him. And he's only in his second year, Larry. Like, he hasn't even played a full year of games. And once things slow down for him, it's going to get scary. And with this team and this coach and Kyle believing in him, it's an amazing sight. So I definitely think he'll get better. But there will be some times where he has some moments. He's going to lose some games. He's going to, you know, throw some picks. But how he responds to that and how he grows and how he learns from that is going to be telling. And I think he's going to really respond to those moments, because we've already seen him respond to adversity, you know, the injuries. And like you said, the blitz, he stood right in front of that blitz. They blitzed 83% of the time. He got rid of that ball in 2.34 seconds. I hadn't seen anything like it, because I was at that game. And I was like, God, Giants are coming. They're coming. And he was just getting the ball. And that was the first time he threw for over 300 yards. That was a damn good game for him, you know. And people were saying, it was a bad performance by Purdy. If that's a bad performance, sign me up, Larry, because I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a quarterback throw for 300 yards on the 49ers. I honestly couldn't tell you, man. That was amazing.
Yeah. Well, horrible performance. No turnovers, 300-yard day, blitzed all night long. and runs the Niners. And the Niners put up 30 on the board offensively and win going away. Yeah, if that's bad, I don't know what else to say. Everybody hit like and subscribe. Raj in the house. We're almost 40 minutes in. We're only going to go another 10 or so. But when we have a quick word from our sponsors, we're brought to you by MarinAutoglass.com, 415-883-3030, New York style Italian sausage and pig in a pickle. And we also have our new sponsor, Jurins.com. Hey everyone, it's Larry Krueger with Jurins Distributing Company. For over a half century, Jurins has been the cornerstone of excellence, trusted by Sacramento's finest restaurants, bars, and casinos. But now they're excited to announce that Jurins' exceptional products will be coming directly to you. That's right. Check out their new website, Jurins.com, Jurins.com. Jurins has a vast catalog with everything you need to elevate your kitchen and craft, from premium cocktail mixes to top-notch kitchen essentials that stand up to the rigors of a commercial kitchen. And here's the best part. When you shop at Jurins.com, you enjoy free nationwide shipping. That's right, free shipping. Jurins is able to offer customers best-in-class prices on all their products because they buy directly from the manufacturer and they cut out the middleman. But wait, there's more. For a limited time, get a fantastic 10% off your entire order by using the promo code Krueg, K-R-U-E-G, at checkout. Make sure to check the link in the description and use that promo code Krueg, K-R-U-E-G, at Jurins.com. All right, welcome back to the Krueg Show. Raj in the house from our SF 49ers. We do this weekly. One of the stories that is not necessarily a Niner story, but there's a Niner angle to it, involves Colin Kaepernick, ex-49er quarterback. And I guess Kaepernick wrote Joe Douglas, the Jets general manager, a letter seeking a quarterback job. He offered to be Zach Wilson's backup. He sent a letter to the Jets general manager. His agent has reached out to the Jets after the Aaron Rodgers injury. One, do you think that, what's your belief on Kaepernick? Is your belief that he's being blackballed and he is persona non grata and there's some kind of a collusion agreement among all 32 owners to not touch him because he was such a polarizing figure? I've heard people speculate that he pressured Jed York into donating $1 million to his foundation, and that rubbed some of the owners wrong, and that the owners want no part of Kaepernick. Of course, the Niners drafted him in the second round back in 2011, and he played 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 15, and 16 with the Niners. He has never played for another team. He has not played since. His last year was 2016. He was 29. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's now 7 years later. He's 36 years old. What's your belief on Kaepernick? I mean, is it that is he blackballed and nobody wants to touch him because he's a polarizing figure? Is he, is it just that, the other people would say, no, he just wasn't very good and he kind of regressed. But his last year in the league, he did have 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, which is hardly terrible. His career is 72 touchdowns, 30 picks. What's your belief on Kaepernick? Is Colin ever going to get, and there's been teams that have worked him out. There's been teams that have kicked tires on him as if they're interested, and then it just never goes anywhere. What's your belief on what's going on here, Raj? What do you actually believe?
So a couple things. I mean, he may have been a polarizing figure many years ago, but you hit the nail on the head, Larry. It's been 7 years since he played in the NFL, competitive football. He probably should have wanted to take a backup role a couple years ago. He probably should have taken a practice squad, which in the letter that the funniest thing about this whole thing is J. Cole. I don't know if you know who J. Cole is, but he's a rapper,
Yeah. Yeah, I know J. Cole.
Yeah, he's the one that leaked the letter. Like
Raj, I might not be, come on. Come on, man. I mean, you're talking about a guy who partied with Too Short in high school. I mean, come on. You got to give me a little bit of. You got to give.
I give you the.
All right.
So J. Cole.
I know my J. Coles.
So to me, it just sounds like Kaepernick's begging at this point. I mean, I rooted for the guy when he was on the Niners. I loved him. The stretch he had was magical. I'm not gonna lie. The Green Bay game, that game was magical to me. Like, it was amazing. I loved it when he was on the Niners, when he was at his peak. But he's not at his peak. He hasn't played in the NFL in 7 years, Larry. He has to give it up. He's begging. You got J. Cole releasing this instead of releasing songs. You got something to talk. This is crazy to me. Like, Kaepernick, his time has passed in the NFL. 36. He's 36 years old, hasn't played for 7 years. Again, J. Cole should be dropping albums instead of dropping Colin Kaepernick's letter. Like, this is crazy to me. It's give it up. Give it up, old man. That's it.
I mean, you're talking to a guy who sometimes will put on DaBaby. I mean, you're talking to, I got some flavor. I got some flavor.
Yeah, I think the biggest story is me dissing Larry, not knowing he didn't know who J. Cole.
I mean, come on. Come on.
Oh my God.
I used to host a show with G Rad. Come on. You don't think I know what's up? I mean, come on now. Once again, I'm money in the, I'm money in the grave. I'll throw a little Drake.
Drake album next week. Let's go.
Come on, I got a little something. I got eclectic music taste.
I love it.
I'm not. Don't paint me as a dip in and Jason Aldean. Though I can go Aldean too, but I can go rap. I can. I'm. That's how I roll. Okay. A couple other thoughts before we get out of here. One super here from Lorenzo Pinto. He says, shouldn't we trade for a right tackle and protect Brock Purdy at all costs? I just don't know who you can get. I don't think good offensive linemen get moved. The one guy who I think could be a guy that I would have interest in, the former Niner, Trent Brown, who's in New England. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He is a huge behemoth right tackle. I'd take a look at Trent Brown if the Pats fall out and, Niners and Patriots make a deal in, end of October, and here's a 4th round or 5th round pick for big Trent Brown. He's a free agent at the end of the year. Just add one more monster offensive lineman to the mix. That would be nice.
You're right. There's not a lot of tackles available. That's a hard spot to get.
Yeah, no, it is a tough spot. All right, most underrated 49er. We kind of hit this earlier in some of the other live streams I've done this week, but I actually went with Ronnie Bell and Braden Willis, and I know that's odd because they're both rookies. But, man, I watched Braden Willis. John Chapman had isolated Braden Willis on a couple of his blocks, and I'd seen him in the All-22. And I like what I'm seeing from Willis as a blocker. I like what I see from Willis as a receiver. And then, I could say the same damn thing about Ronnie Bell. I love what I see from Ronnie Bell on special teams. I love what I see from Ronnie Bell as a blocker. And I love what I'm seeing from Ronnie Bell as a receiver. I know they're rookies, and so they're not rated all that highly, but I think they're underrated, even despite the fact that we've kind of talked them up a little bit this summer. I think Ronnie Bell is legit. I think Braden Willis is legit.
Yeah, Ronnie Bell.
Who's your most underrated Niner?
Right now, because it changes a lot. Every year, players, they step up and do some things that need to be talked about. But right now, Ronnie Bell, man, you can't not name him as the most underrated Niner right now. On offense this week, stepping in for Brandon Ayuk, comes in, gets his first career touchdown, first career reception, and then the heads up, tip drill, he catches that. Special team makes a heads up pass, makes another big block. It was like watching a 5-year vet in the Shanahan offense. This guy's a rookie, played 3 games. This guy is going to be amazing. Ronnie Bell, definitely one of them. I give him some credit. I want to put some respect on Jake Moody because this guy is right now been the best kicker in the NFL. And you know what? In the offseason,
that's a good one too.
Everybody was saying, go call Robbie Gould. This guy's the 3rd round bust. Jake Moody, 9 for 9. He hasn't missed a kick. I love Jake Moody right now. And they're both Michigan boys. And then on defense, hey, Javon Kinlaw, man, he's top 4 in interior lineman pressures. This guy's getting after the ball. He's playing the run well. He's playing the pass well. Javon Kinlaw is healthy, and I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him. Shout out to Javon Kinlaw, man. You love to see this guy healthy and being a contributing factor. He's so underrated right now. Nobody's talking about Kinlaw, but he is playing at a very nice level for the 49ers. Those are my guys.
We got a lot of people in the chat who says Larry definitely knows role models word for word. Look at this one. D-Shot 316. Larry once auditioned for New Kids on the Block. Waveware. Larry, the mother effing K homeboy. Mark Lopez, Larry, Raj, dynamic duo in full effect. Larry, any chance you drop some bars right now? I go a little freestyle. You want me to go a little freestyle?
On us. Drop some J. Cole on us.
You want me to go a little freestyle? I can go a little freestyle. Now, did I tell you, do you remember, I mean, I don't know how long you've been listening to me do the Niners post game. Do you remember ex-Niner Tavares Gooden?
Oh, I remember Tavares. Yeah.
So my buddy who works in doing the pre and post in Baltimore for the Ravens said, "Hey, man, you got my favorite guy in your team now, Tavares Gooden." This is during the Harbaugh regime. I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's a good player, the former Miami linebacker." He's like, "Oh yeah, he's an awesome freestyler, man. You got to get him in there, and he'll drop some bars on you."
Oh, no.
And so his locker was right next to Alden Smith and Dante Whitner. And so I told him, I said, "Hey, my man in Baltimore said that you can go a little freestyle. You can drop some bars for me right here on the post game." And he gives me a look, and Alden gives me a look, Whitner gives me a look, and the next thing I know, he's freestyling, rapping in the corner of the locker room, and all these guys are gathered around. It was amazing audio, to the point where every time the Niners won in that Super Bowl year, we would go to Tavares Gooden, and he would go a little freestyle.
I love it, man. That
Good stuff, man.
Good luck freestyle.
That's talent, man. I don't know how these guys do it.
I don't.
I could never do that. I'm not that creative.
No, I mean that's why they're good. That's why people, if you can just sit there on cue, just bust the freestyle out, you've got it, man. You got it for life.
We got this one from Scott Schendel. He says Larry knew 50 Cent high all the time too. Okay, do you remember the 49er who I told you last year, Raj, listens to 50 Cent with the high all the time before every game? Do you remember what Niner told me that?
What Niner?
Last year. He's on the team right now. Cool guy, really cool guy.
Ooh, George Kittle?
Ray.
Oh,
Ray told me. I said, "What's your pregame routine?" He's like, "I like to come in here, listen to a little 50 Cent high all the time," which is a pretty good riff.
Yeah,
pretty good riff.
I can see Ray. He was hanging out with Snoop Dogg a couple weeks ago.
Was he?
Yeah.
Who is the team that you fear the most? Now that the top tier in the NFL is KC, Miami, Buffalo in the AFC, Niners, Eagles, Cowboys in the NFC. If I've left anybody out, maybe I just don't think that highly of them. Of those teams, who's the team that scares you the most?
I mean, it's still Kansas City. You got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, man. That's it. They're still tops to me. I mean, until they get dethroned, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He's still the best quarterback in the league. That's it. It's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, man. Andy Reid, hell of a coach. That's a dynamic duo right there, and you got to respect them. They're the Super Bowl champs, so they got the target on their back. We got to knock the target. Everybody else, I feel like the 49ers can beat. I know everybody probably will say Miami because they just fresh off that 70-point win.
Sure.
But their defense doesn't scare me, and the 49ers handled them last year. And Kyle Shanahan knows Mike McDaniel. That's an evenly matchup for me. So to me, the hardest matchup is the Chiefs. I mean, we saw what happened in the Super Bowl, and I just want revenge from that. So I think that's the team.
It's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs. There's no question. Because of Andy Reid, because of Mahomes, Chris Jones, and Andy Reid's play calling in the red zone.
Yeah.
Andy Reid's play calling in the red zone is dynamic. Did you watch any of Bears Chiefs?
Oh God, I saw everything. And you of course you had to see that game because Taylor Swift was watching, dude. So when he scored that touchdown.
Are you a Taylor Swift fan, Raj?
No, love to see all the crazy news. I love.
You didn't go to Levi's for Taylor Swift?
No, I did not. I know a lot of people that did.
All right.
Hate her. I think she makes good music, but what I'm getting at is the touchdown that they threw to Travis Kelce. It was off script that he just ran his own route and Mahomes just found him. Like, that is crazy to me that you can sit there, you're that good, or you can say, all right, you just run whatever damn route you want. I'll find you and get a touchdown. That's how locked in those two guys are, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. It's crazy, man. Like, and that's why I fear them, because that's amazing. And yeah, that's how bad the Bears are. If you're letting these two guys, they're basically playing backyard football. They go unscripted and they score a touchdown on you. You better relegate the Bears and the Broncos to the XFL. They should not be in the NFL. That is embarrassing.
Here's my thing on Andy Reid. Make him adjust back. One of the things that he does really well is one of the things that Shanahan does really well. They create a lot of eye candy pre-snap. And then, like, there was a play where they looked, the offensive line was down blocking to the right. They had a guy in motion coming back right. Everything was going right, and they flipped it left. How many times can Andy Reid fool you with that same kind of thing? Everything's going left, but the runner's going right. Everything's going right, but the runner's going left. It's like, how many times are you going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe? It's like, I'd love to see the Niners snuff them out like a candle on 3 or 4 of those goal line plays where all the action's moving one way and the runner's going the other way, and just read it. Either be against all the action, because they're always trying. Have you noticed this? The Chiefs never want to beat you physically at the goal line. They want to fool you. But Andy wants to fool you on the goal line. That's his trend. So to me, if all the action is going right, then look for the runner going left and blow him up. If all the action's going left, then look for the runner going right. But stop falling for the pre-snap action. He creates an illusion of right, he's going left. He creates an illusion of going left, he's going right. He's fooling you. He wants to fool you more than beat you mano a mano on the goal line.
But he's beating you by.
That's his trend.
But the thing is, Larry, because the one time where you think you got him, when he's going right and you're gonna say, "Oh, we know he's going left," he's actually gonna go right. So
then give him the touchdown. You give him the touchdown and be naked over there. I mean, if they're gonna block down to the right and have all the fullback going motion to the right and the whole deal, and they're looking like they're going right, then play left and gamble. Play left and gamble. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see any more misdirection for Andy Reid. He's so damn good at it. All right, a couple last ones and we're out of here. I want to know from you. I'll be in the locker room tomorrow and Thursday. My trend is to go into the locker room. In fact, we have this one from David Muschek. He says, Krug, love the interview with Tabor Pepper. Players seldom noticed, yet are key to clutched points and victories. And I did an extended interview with Tabor, who's got a great presence on Twitter. You probably follow him and because you're noticing what they're doing in their social media. He's like the king of Twitter for Niners. The interview started with, "Hey, who are you? Are you thoroughly dominant on Twitter in here? Is there anybody approaching you, Tabor?" He's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm so far out in front at this point."
It's him. Kittle and Tabor are like the kings of Twitter. Like, those two guys, their Twitter's amazing.
Who is? Now, I'd love to see names in the chat. You guys know there's the hierarchy. It's Brock and Kittle, Trent, CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Bosa, sometimes Warner, and sometimes Huff. Those 9 guys typically will go to the podium or they'll hold court in the corner of the locker room. And when they do, all the media goes over there. Okay, that's generally when I peel off because I don't want to stand behind 19 people and hold up my gimbal and sit there and be like, trying to get Bosa's comment. But I see the value in it because I got a quote from Bosa the other day that got like 20,000 views. So there's that. But I'm not doing this for views. I'm doing this to talk to the guys and bring you guys a little bit more a sense of who's on the team. And I don't want to ask one question in a powwow gangbang situation. I want to go, 7 questions and get to know somebody. Okay. Who would you like me to interview in the next 2 days? What Niner player would you like to know more about? That you're like, you know what? I know a little bit about him, but man, Krug, I'd love it if you would park yourself in front of this guy and do a 7 or 8 minute interview and ask him where he's from and find out a little bit more about him and kind of bring his story to light. Is there what kind of understated Niner would you like to know more about, Raj?
Ooh, you know what? There's a guy that's probably not going to be understated too much longer this year. I think he's a Pro Bowl. Get some Aaron Banks content, man. Let's get some Aaron Banks. Okay. Aaron Banks needs some.
I talked to Banks the other day. Big Banks. He's a good guy. He's got a little baby now. He's got a little boy at home. We were talking about, walking through the door. I said, Aaron, when you walk through that door, it's probably like Elvis has entered the building. He's like, oh yeah. He's so happy to see me. He's jumping up and down. He's going crazy. And that's such a cool thing. Cause I do remember that as a young dad, when you'd walk through the door and it was like, Dad's home. Wow. Now it's like, Dad, do you have a 20 spot? Dad, car keys, now they want everything. But when they were little, they loved me. They truly loved me. We got 1 vote for Banks. Banks grew up a Raider fan. I didn't know that. We got this one from Stacy, says Drake Jackson. We got a Tayshaun Gibson vote. 420 Savage says Jalen Graham.
I see a lot of people saying Ronnie Bell.
Ronnie Bell. We got Salvador Lopez says Jair.
Okay.
Jair Brown. What do you think? We got this one from Alberto Soto. He says, hey, Larry, can you ask Javon Hargrave if this is the best team he's played for and what's the difference between the other teams and the Niners? I've tried to get him going on that, but he's so keenly aware that the Eagle fans are kind of like out there. And we tried to get him going in week 1 because he played for the Steelers, right? We're like, hey, Steelers. And he's like, I don't like to compare. It's like, yeah, you don't like to compare because it's going to be headline news there, and then a bunch of people that loved you are now going to hate you. He's
media savvy. He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy.
He is a smart guy.
There was a sound clip today on the 49ers released like their media, sound clips and mic'd up and all that content. There was a sound clip. He's on the sideline sounds, and he's sitting there next to Bosa and Warner on there. He goes, you know what? I usually never talk to people. He goes, this is the first time I've come onto a team, and I'm like actually just ready to talk to everybody. So I can feel this might be a little something different for him, the locker room. So maybe in a couple of weeks, you might be able to get a little bit something out of him. But he did say that to the players. He's like, I never talk to them. He's like, I'm so quiet usually. So it's kind of nice to see. I was like, oh, wow. Like changing he's seeing the brotherhood of this locker room, man. It's pretty cool to see.
Who I was thinking might be a pretty good interview, and I haven't talked to him yet? Brandon Allen.
Okay.
He played with Burrow, right? He played with Burrow. Yeah. So obviously he gleaned something from Burrow.
Yeah.
And now he's backing up Purdy. I can see some Burrow-Purdy similarities.
Okay.
It's not crazy. Not crazy at all. Third string All-Pro drops this one. Larry, what's the song at the end of your show? It's a great question. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. Well, YouTube, you can't go with music. It all gets like you demonetized.
Yeah, you can't put J. Cole on there.
You can't put J. Cole on there. You can't put a little Too Short on there.
No.
You got to go with, I can't go with, was it Roddy Ricch?
Yeah, you can't go.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Larry dropping the bar.
You like that? I'm here all fucking night.
That was a good pull. That was a good one.
You like that? Robert Saleh? Did you watch any Hard Knocks this summer?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
Just seeing Robert Saleh saying, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
That was fun.
That was funny. That was funny. I like Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh seems cool.
He does. I feel bad, though, because his quarterback situation has been the same since he got there. I feel so bad. I wish Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt. Because I don't know if Robert Saleh is going to make it through the season as the head coach if they can't make it to the playoffs, man.
I mean, I think him and Joe Douglas are a good team. I'd keep those guys together. I know it's New York, and it's like, what have you done for me lately? But still. Yeah. A couple last ones. Vicky Pellich says, Krug, interview Ronnie Bell. Yeah, I tried to get Ronnie Bell the other day, and but it was after the game. And he said, yeah, I'll do it. But then all of a sudden I walked over to his locker, and I forgot that he had caught a touchdown. And before the guy could even get changed, there's like 19 people around his locker.
Yeah, I saw. I'm
not doing 19 people around the locker. Yeah. It's like I'm not going to compete like that. I'd rather talk to him on a Tuesday when all the people go away. And then Hutch Serves Gaming, the mayor of Murfreesboro, says, I just saw the stupid racist accusation from Baggerly. He says, sue them for defamation, Larry. I'll get them all served for you. They can't cancel the Krug show. The Giants team and now their media is a complete joke. There you go. What can you say? Hey, you know what? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
That's right. If you ain't got haters, you ain't popping, Larry.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. Raj, what do you got cooking the rest of the week, man? Hey, I sent you an invite on game day, and I know you probably have Kev said Raj has got his own post game. He probably is not going to show, and I'm like, never, no sweat. But I'll keep inviting you on game day. If you do what you do, we go for like, I don't know, 90 minutes to 2 hours on game day. If you got 5 minutes to give us your perspective at the end of whatever you do on game day, feel free, but don't ever feel pressured. I know you got other things going and I don't want to interrupt any of that. And so but I'll keep sending you, invites if you want to pop into the post game party on the Krug show channel. But what do you got going the rest of the week on your channel and what should we be looking for on, either the IG? By the way, I put up a IG of, Shanahan talking about Puka Nacua, and I don't know if you put it out there, Raj, but it got 400,000 views.
I think I did share it to my story. Yeah.
You must have. I said that this reeks of Raj. I'm looking at that going,
hey, Joe, man, I've been trying to boost you up because
that is an amazing. How often do you get 500,000 views on something that you put on the IG?
Most of them. Game day videos, pretty much all of them are.
Go for 400,000?
Some are like 100K to $1 million sometimes.
Damn. Yeah, dude. That is blowing up. And I had some people contact me going, dude, what is going on with your social media? You're totally blowing up. And I'm said, you know what? If you ain't got I said Raj. I think my man Raj might have blew me up there because.
Yeah, I usually post your stories. I try to post, like you and Cam Inman. I love you guys, so I always try to post your stuff on the stories. And if I see it's good content, I always post it on my page and put it on the story. So it's always cool to see that stuff. But definitely send me the invites on game day. This Thursday, I was at the game, so it was just after the game. We went to the, where Kittle and all the guys at the NFL Prime, they did the booth. They were at the booth.
Oh, right.
We were hanging out. Kittle's there. So we were getting all that, filming that, then post game and stuff. So I was just like lost in the sauce doing that. And then by the time I got home, it was so late. But definitely send me the links. I'll definitely hop on when I can. And just be doing my thing as the rest of the week goes by, previewing the game. We got a show tomorrow with Aaron from 49ers First Takes, our Wednesday show. And then Thursday, Friday, prediction show Friday. And, the normal, just trying to keep building this YouTube. But,
Look at you, dude. You got what's your Niner t-shirt? Is that Walsh?
This is George Kittle. This is a Kittle. Yeah, George Kittle,
And you got the Niner scarf?
I felt like wearing the scarf. It's getting a little cold. And
it is starting to get a little chilly.
And also we're moving, so I don't have much. I turned all I got fans everywhere to try to, air out the house, and it's getting cold in here. So
you do have an awful lot of fans. There's no question about it. You got a lot of fans. All right, Raj, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. Remember that. We'll talk to you next week. Maybe we'll see you on game night. If not, we'll see you next week sometime. You're the best, man. Keep it rocking and rolling. And thanks for juicing up my IG, man. I really appreciate it, man. 400 grand for a Puka Nakua video out of nowhere caught my eye.
We'll keep crushing your page. We'll keep boosting up the content. Keep it rolling, baby. We love it.
Sounds good. See you, Raj. There you go. The great Raj. From RSF 49ers. Love Raj. Charlie says Raj and Larry got haters. Yeah. Yo Stricken says, Larry, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping Krueger. Mick E says, keep it popping. All right, good stuff. All right, thanks for everybody for tuning into the stream. Great stuff with Raj. Go check him out on the IG. He's also got a brand new YouTube show. He's going off, building to be bigger and better than ever before, the great Raj. Let's do a quick mention of our sponsors before we bolt for the door. Thanks to MarinAutoglass.com, 415-883-3030. Thanks to New York Style Italian Sausage. The only kind of sausage I will eat is New York style sausage. And thanks to our good friends, Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Here's their place in Marin.
So New York style sausage was started over 70 years ago. We are the largest producer of fresh Italian sausage on the West Coast.
What makes our sausage in New York style is really the recipe came from back east, from New York, from Connecticut.
If you look at all of our labels, there's maximum 4 or 5 ingredients, which we're really proud of.
There's no preservatives, no MSG, fresh in, fresh out.
The pork comes in fresh, goes out fresh. There's never any freezing throughout the process. We've always used fine quality cuts. We're never gonna deter from that. It's one of the reasons why our sausage is so good. I guarantee you put our sausage up against anybody else's from a flavor standpoint, no one will beat it, hands down.
Hey, do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Go buy a package of the New York style Italian sausage. Guaranteed you will love it, guaranteed.
Welcome back to the Krueg Show as we're coming down the home stretch. Man, we are getting close to 24,000. We are 12 subs away from 24,000 subs. So always hit like. It helps the algorithm. More people find the show. But hit subscribe and click that notification bell. If you're one of the people in the chat right now and you have yet to subscribe, please do. We're 12 away from 24,000. It helps the channel grow. We've had 1.2 million views of our live streams and videos over the last month alone. We've had over 170,000 watch hours over the last 28 days, and we have picked up over 2,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. In the last 4 weeks, over 2,000 subs to this channel. The channel's growing by leaps and bounds. I want to thank all of you guys, all the sponsors. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks to the super chats. Thanks to Raj for giving us his time tonight. And check us out tomorrow. We got a lot going on the rest of the week. Tomorrow, I'll be down in Santa Clara. I'm going to be doing a live stream with Damon Bruce on his channel at 11 a.m. And then Kyle Shanahan will be in the auditorium at 12:40. Then we'll talk to the players at 12:45. And then tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we'll have the Krug call-in show with the great Kevin Krueger in the house. Thursday, we'll be down in Santa Clara for practice, and then Steve Wilkes, Chris Forster, Brock Purdy, Jesse Naylor, and I, minus Sans Vish this week. Vish is on vacation, but Jesse and I will chop it up Thursday night. Looking forward to that. Always one of my favorite streams. And then Friday morning, Jack Hammer will be with us at 10:45. We'll do some Arizona Cardinal media, some out-of-town media interviews leading into Sunday's game with the Niners. Saturday morning at 9 a.m., the coach will stop by. It's always a fun time. And then this Sunday, we do our first 95.7 The Game pregame show. So I am on the 95.7 The Game pregame show. It's me and Lo Neal this year for all the home games from the Hilton in Santa Clara. So stop by and say hello. Love Lo Neal. Lo Neal and I will chop it up from 11 to 1, and then we'll go in and watch the game. And then after the game, join me on the postgame show. Kev will join us, JD, Baller, Danny, Rye, maybe Damon, maybe Raj, and hopefully all of you. And we'll be celebrating a 49er win and looking ahead to the Dallas Cowboys. Man, I can't wait for that. Emily Pasqua says, that's amazing, Larry. Keep it up. Always look forward to your content. Thank you, Emily. Have a great night, everybody. Peace. We'll see you tomorrow on The Krug Show.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Here for